Hello and welcome to I Can See the Future. We are back after a little bit of a holiday break and ready to get back into the first video of the month, which would be the Brainstorm video. So we've got a bunch of ideas that are on here from before that we can revisit, a few new ones. One that Teresa, you've kind of come up with recently that we can go through, one that I've come up with that we can go through, and then maybe we'll just do it in that order. You can go first, I'll go, and then we can just review what else is there before deciding what to focus on.
Cool. Yeah, so I haven't talked to you at all about this healthy cooking app idea, but it's really funny because we both kind of had an experience with HelloFresh, and I was like looking at HelloFresh, which is, if you don't know what HelloFresh is, it's like a subscription, like food box that you get, and you can make different recipes every day. I was looking at that, and then Chelsea actually ordered it and got one today. But it's just interesting because I'm soon going to be going back into like a Monday to Friday kind of like 9 to 5 job. And one of my main concerns is really like being able to cook a healthy meal after work. And then also like having enough different recipes so I'm not always eating the same thing. And so this idea would really be for like an app that doesn't, it's not a subscription where like you get food every day. It's more of it's an app that basically has a 5 day the idea would be like it's a 5 day meal plan, and it would be like it would always cost like under a certain amount, because I think that's really important. And it would use ingredients as much as possible, like more than once. So if you buy like, chicken, then this week you're going to use it at least like 2 or 3 times, which I think is like the best way to use ingredients, is if you can use them over and over again during the week. So the idea would just be like, it's like not like an invention or anything, this app, but it would just be like really well curated 5 day meals that are actually healthy, like not just like not unhealthy, but like really good things, like probiotic things. Like it would have like kimchi and like a lot of like Japanese vegetables, like miso, and like things that you actually can make for yourself that are going to be so nutritious.
Right.
Which is really hard to do when you're working all the time, I think. So
Yeah.
that would be my idea with this app. And then I think a really cool thing that you could do is that, like, since Amazon now is so easy to use with Whole Foods, you could directly, like, maybe if you're saying like, yes, I want to get all the ingredients, it can maybe hook you right up into Whole Foods, and just drop all the items that you need. So you just like check out, and then it gets delivered to your house if you want to do it that way.
Yeah. How are they with the packaging as far as like the waste, like Whole Foods, like in Amazon delivery?
It's all right. All of the produce comes in these recycled like green plastic bags, which I think decompose. And then everything comes in paper bags. And then the only bad thing that they use, and I'm not sure if it's recyclable or not, but anything that needs to be cold, it does come in this like puffy metallic cover.
Yeah.
But that might be recyclable. So they're actually pretty good. Besides the recycled plastic that the vegetables come in, it's like all right.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Because that's the one thing.
Yeah.
So just getting the HelloFresh box, like that's the one thing I noticed, and I feel like they're trying and putting effort towards it, which is good. But that's the one thing I noticed was just like, okay, by splitting everything up and making it super convenient for me, and saying this is for this one meal and this is for that, the next meal. There's stuff that could have just been in one packaging. Like both meals came with green onion or whatever. And it could have
Yeah.
just been one thing, but obviously they wanted to split them up so that it's like, this is the bag for this meal, this is the bag for that meal. So, I appreciate it because I suck at cooking, and it's like this nice idea of like everything I need is in this bag. But also I
Yeah.
don't suck that badly. So like I kind of like this idea of like, like so it would be like you're saying like five meals a week that would utilize some of the same things over and over, so that when you bought the food that was necessary to cook those recipes, it was like, if it's chicken, like you said, like you'd have chicken Monday and Wednesday or something, and reuse the chicken um, for both days. Yeah, that sounds cool. I think like I can imagine, yeah, like plugging in with Amazon for Whole Foods delivery, and not even making it necessarily like a subscription delivery box like HelloFresh
Yeah.
would be, but more wrapped around like really easy to brainstorm and create like good recipes. Because that's like the hardest thing for me, actually, beyond just making
That's the
sure I can
hardest part.
find all of the ingredients, is, yeah, like what am
Yeah.
I making?
Because I think we all have like habits that we get into, right? Like when you kind of like, even if you know how to cook, you kind of gravitate towards the same like dishes that you're making.
Right.
Um, and that can be good or bad. Like if you're eating healthy, it's totally fine. But I think I want to be able to eat super healthy. Like this is like, that's like the number one concern, is really like even HelloFresh recipes. They're healthy, but I wouldn't say that like they're like the most nutritious thing that you could possibly eat.
Right. Right.
Like
No.
there's still things that are like fried or like so I'm like talking about like truly healthy. So like this is something that like you'd have to be into.
Right.
But that combination of like incredibly healthy meals that like someone, you really have to think about that. You can't just like randomly make stuff sometimes, because it's like there's different parts of nutrition that you definitely need, that you have to understand that you need. Like I think probiotics are so important to
Right.
eat, and certain vegetables are so important to eat, that we kind of like it's hard to incorporate into recipes. So I feel like that would be the focus of this. And
Right.
I think how you can monetize it is that, it's a subscription for the recipes that you get every single week, and it can be like really low. It'd be like, like $5 or whatever, a month or something.
Yeah.
Like it could be
It could
something really, really low.
I could kind of see this like even expanding. So like you've got the really healthy sort of concept, but there's like all these different ways to think about eating healthy, and like different types of like diets or like that people are on. Like one of the things that HelloFresh, they've got the like meat box, or they have like vegetarian, and I'm kind of like, I'm not either. Like I do eat some meat, but I'm like very selective, and very infrequently do I eat meat. And so I was just like, I
Yeah.
was thinking of like the different dietary restrictions, and how that's difficult if you're doing a subscription box like that. But in this case, it could be like a really like
Mm-hmm.
really fine tuned based on what you want, giving you really good and
Yeah.
clean, easy to understand recipes that are shared. Like that, like I like the idea of creating like the plan for the week. Like maybe on Saturday or Sunday, you like go on your app and you like kind of indicate what you're in the mood for in some capacity for the next week, and then it gives you like a very clear picture. And like even just the nutrition side of it, like I could easily see that idea expanding to like having a unique nutritionist that like reviews or goes over your information for you and gives you like a customized plan. And maybe that's like a more expensive subscription, because I
Yeah.
mean, I would love having someone that actually knew I actually really want to do that in general, is go to somebody and be like, hey, this is like, I've had these kind of stomach aches my whole life, and this kind of food makes me sick, and like what do I need for my skin, and like what do I personally need to be the most healthy. Some of it's based on like blood type, and there's all these ideas of like how to eat healthy. So I could see it expanding like in a lot of ways. And I'm sure, I know there are tons of recipe apps, but maybe nothing like quite as specific like this.
Yeah. Like this really would be like very specialized, and like I think those are such great ideas. Like anyone that has like any kind of like health issues or dietary restrictions, like this would just hone in on that like niche. It's like if you're vegan and you don't know exactly what to eat that's healthy for you, or maybe you're
Right.
gluten free or you have allergies, like this would just be like for all of those people. Plus like people just that just want to eat really
Really
healthy.
healthy. Right. Yeah, that's cool. Are you thinking of any like how any way that it would be designed in like some sort of unique direction, or is it you see it as like an app for your phone, or
Yeah, I see it as an app. I see a lot of like fun things that you could do, but you would definitely need like a team to help you. Like, I really like, I was looking on Bon Appetit and they have some recipes where they show you how to cook, but as they write the recipe, there's like these really like, just like beautiful like gifs of them doing the actual thing
oh yeah,
as they describe it to you. And there's something nice about the gift because it's like it just repeats, you know? And so you're just like, oh, and then this step, and then this step, and
right,
it's just like laid out really beautifully.
right,
So visually, very like clean and easy and visual based too for people.
cool. Yeah, okay, that's a really fun idea. Um, let's hop down to the one that I came up with a little while ago that we've kind of talked to this a little bit recently, but not in too much detail. But I wrote it down on here just as treasure hunting website. But essentially,
Yeah,
the idea would be similar in nature to how maybe geocaching works, although you wouldn't get the location. But it would be like a scavenger hunt or treasure hunt, where users could subscribe to a certain hunt, and the money that they're subscribing with would go towards the bigger pot that they could potentially find and win. And there would be clues and sort of like a hidden sort of world adventure that you would go on. So it would literally be something that like you and your friends could subscribe to and say, okay, we're trying to win this pot of money. It's the clues kind of lead you to different places. Maybe there's one all over the world. Maybe you subscribe to a California based one because you can't travel or something. But the idea would be that it would you would essentially go on an actual treasure hunt, trying to be the person that found first the end sort of treasure, which could be either the amount of money at that point that all the subscribers had pulled together, or maybe if it was like if we were working with brands, it could be like let's just say Nike. It could be like Nike could hide a specific like coupon or codes for or literally shoes somewhere in the world, and you would go on this adventure trying to find that hidden treasure. There's all these ways that it could kind of play out, but the way that I initially see it working would be starting with just one treasure, and then I think that it could be something that went viral just because of the nature of like the more people that are searching for it, the larger the pot of money would grow.
yeah,
And it could just be really, really fun to build a really interactive and physical game. Like we were saying before, one of the things that we both really liked about Pokemon Go was the fact that it had us like using technology but interacting with like the world and out there physically like running and bumping into other people doing the same thing. So there's something really fun about like using technology in that way, like using it to kind of create like a fun adventure for your friends to go on that could be like a real physical thing.
yeah.
So
I think it's really cool. I think the idea really excites me.
there's something to like how I can imagine it growing too, and I can picture like the way I can picture sort of a path for it to grow. Hey, my dog. Uh, I can picture a path for it to actually grow from like just that first one, like an initial one that maybe is California based, that is, sending people on something, some little treasure hunt around California. And I think it'd be really fun to build out like, to use history or to like I don't know, make it really hard, so that it's like it takes a long time for people to
Yeah.
like figure out. And so it becomes like
Yeah.
substantial.
I think like that part we should really emphasize is that like these would be like very interesting riddles, and we would hopefully get you know people like maybe like further down the line who would be like true like masters of like making riddles
Yeah.
that could
Just hire them.
do this. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, like the larger this grows, like the idea from like maybe this first one we would make, right? Just to like build something. But yeah, we could
Yeah.
easily hire like professional like riddle people. What would the role be called? I don't even know.
I don't know. That's a great title. Whatever
Right.
it ends up being, like a really cool job.
That'd be so fun.
Riddle.
Yeah, somebody that like has to just for their full-time job like hide $1 million in cash somewhere in the world and make a crazy riddle. And and maybe it's not even one person, so like nobody really knows where it is. It's like a group of all these people that have to come together to put that work together to make it so it can grow into a much larger like kind of worldwide.
I I just think that's so cool. Like I can see it on a smaller scale. Like if you're just doing it locally, like you're like, oh, there's like some in LA or whatever. But then if you're actually someone who like is willing to base one of your vacations off of this because you think it's gonna be really fun, you go with one of your friends to where you think the treasure might be, and you have like a week of just this like true adventure
Right.
of trying to find treasure. Like that's so exciting to me. Like
Yeah.
that's so cool.
And there could be ways that it like expands to like even providing like a clear sort of treasure hunting direction where people where you make it easier for them to like I don't know if it's like buy the plane tickets or what it would involve, but like something that helps like get people going on the right direction. Um, there could be different types of like packages or something that's with that. But I just like the idea of like building up and like having really difficult and really intricate, interesting like interactions. And there might be something that could be added to it, like around the idea of like sort of life lessons even, right? Like you think you're going to search for treasure, but you end up going with your friends for a week long trip that like brighten like opens your eyes about like different cultures or teaches you something about yourself because like while you're on that journey you experience all of these difficult things. And they're like all different levels of difficulty, like you're saying, like there's an LA based one that's probably like smaller and fun and like still difficult but not as crazy as like maybe the one where you like fly to Thailand and you go to this take a boat to this specific island and find out and ask this woman a question, and the woman in the village tells you like this other thing you need to do, and now like you go to the next country and you're like maybe it's not there's some sort of kind of fun kind of crazy like bigger adventures available.
I just think that is so cool, like because there's like I mean I could see like a really cheesy version of this where it's like not really real. It's just like a package like adventure or something, right. And it's like you have like an actor, and like it's not really that hard. It's like a one of those escape rooms or something. Right. Like it would be the opposite of that. It'd be like as real as you could get. Where like the riddles and the adventure are so like highly designed. Where it's like like you were saying, even before you get the treasure, you're already on this journey,
right?
That like I don't know. There's something about that it just feels more real.
Yeah, and it could be fun to make like at that point you'll have I can imagine like a community of people that are like the treasure hunters that are all searching and like trying to figure this out together even, and there's some sort of Discord or like Slack channel of people like sharing information and trying to like break the codes together or something. Like I can imagine like a sort of a community that could develop around this idea too. So I don't know. I I think it'd be really fun. It would be such a fun thing to make and to share with the world and for the world to be participating in. And it's still something that could make money, so it
Right?
could still function in our society
Yeah,
essentially. Like we could make this into a business as well. That like gives
yeah,
joy to people while also still functioning. Which makes me feel
yeah,
good about it.
yeah.
And so those are the two new ideas. And then we have, I'll just quickly like read through what else we had. We had the alt box, which is the alternative GUI for Dropbox, the different view
Mhm.
for designers, like we've talked about.
So what is
Reevaluating,
the idea?
yeah, reevaluating consent education with the dating app game. There's something with
Yeah.
that we haven't really dived into. The to-dos with accountability buddy, exciting package tracking, which is something I want to build at some point. Something that helps you declutter your mind. The 30 challenges to enlightenment tracker.
We have
Recipes.
so many.
There's some good and fun ideas. Recipes based on what's in your fridge.
Yes.
Cookie toasters. Health analyzer that looks at your poop and pee via toilet. A Roomba
That's a
that
good
picks
one
up
too.
dog poop.
Yeah.
Mini AC for your tent or car, and then Flux for
Yes.
designers. So yeah, there's
There's
a
a lot of
lot. There's definitely a lot there's a whole handful of things we could do that I would be excited about working on. So right now, we should just pick something that we want to do in the month that we can build. We should be able to have time to build something for it too. Maybe not like the full thing, but we could do design and maybe build a little bit out. So we can think about it from that angle. We do have some time to work on it.
Yeah. I
So
think
what are
that's
you leaning
gonna edit
towards?
down a lot because a lot of these are really cool, but they would be like the scope would be too big for us to build.
Yeah.
Um, like
What are you
I
leaning
really want to make
towards?
the treasure one, but that one is such a big scope that like
But
I don't know.
I can imagine scoping out a month's worth of like building an initial treasure hunt that's like based in California, right? And
Smaller scale.
building the first little version of it. Like it, and even seeing where that goes, because it could be really fun to like push that out there, and if there's momentum and it gets some sort of viral traction, it could actually grow into like a bigger business, and you would just take that idea and then
Yeah,
expand it. I think we could
yeah,
actually probably brainstorm and build like a very simple, because if you think about like the website, it's not like what would need to be built for that is more of like a user like front facing, very simple kind of site. It wouldn't need anything too dramatic for like the initial version of it. Um,
yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I'm down to work on that one if you are. It's like the one I've been the most excited about in the back of my head for a while.
No, me too. I think we would be able to make something on a smaller scale. You're right when you're saying like there's not really like any like technology that we're talking about. We're not like inventing something. So it would be like designing the aesthetic
It'd be the
look.
aesthetic, it would be coming up with the actual initial treasure hunt, like how that would work and what we would want it to function as, and then
Yeah,
pushing it out to people. And like, I mean, we personally can come up with it and literally go hide something somewhere in California and
yeah,
and start it that way and just see, because it could be really,
yeah.
it could be really fun. So I don't know, I'm leaning towards it just because I'm like, I kind of really want it to exist anyway, and I think it'd be really fun for
Me
us to work on.
too. I think it's like really different from the other things that we've done because this would actually make us do something we need to do something in the physical world.
Right. Yeah, it's gonna,
Which,
yeah, we'll end up like, probably gonna end up needing to go on like a little mini road trip somewhere to do this. So, which sounds fun. So, I don't know.
It sounds really fun.
Okay, treasure hunting website it is. We'll have to think of like names. We'll have to think of like a name and stuff, but we can start kind of brainstorming that with the next video and on like this week. Okay, cool. So let's wrap it up. Let's wrap this video up and we will see you guys next week. Bye.